While phoning into CNBC this morning, President Trump defended his decision to fire the labor statistics commissioner following a disappointing jobs report.
I think when somebody says the commissioner is not involved, I don't want to get into any arguments with anybody. Why should I? She's a very nice woman.
Exactly.
But when they say that that nobody was involved, that it wasn't political, give me a break.
CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joins me now. Kelly, it's great to see you. I wonder what the reaction has been on Wall Street. And what does this action mean for whoever becomes the next labor statistics chief? How could it impact their credibility?
Well, it's great to be with you, Weija. You know, from the market perspective, we did see a big drop when that weaker jobs report came out, especially with all of the revisions that has been at the heart of the president's criticism of this most recent report. But the investor reaction was mainly about the weakness in the labor market that we're seeing, not necessarily this questioning of the credibility of the data. To your point, though, about what this might mean for the next commissioner, whomever that might be, I mean, number one, they're not the only person that's responsible for those numbers. There's a whole team of people that is going to be doing that job ongoing while that person remains to be named. But I do think there's going to be so much scrutiny about the credibility of those numbers. I would expect that person, the very first thing that they would do is to really sort of get in there of how this data is collected. I know you've been doing a lot of reporting on this. It's phone calls, it's faxes, it's a sort of antiquated way of gathering data. And I would expect with all of that scrutiny on revisions, which are very common, there would be a push to improve and update how the Bureau of Labor Statistics gathers that information.
The president also said this morning he intends to, quote, substantially raise tariffs on India over its Russian oil purchases within the next 24 hours. This is something we've both been following closely. Talk about how that and Trump's other tariffs could impact Americans.
So broadly, I mean, we've been saying this for a while, that we do expect, depending on how businesses react and absorb those tariffs, prices to go up for Americans. We have a slew of new tariffs that are going into effect on August 7th, higher tariff rates. And I actually spoke with the president of the Cleveland Fed, and she said that's part of the reason why they've been holding rates. They want to see what happens when it comes to inflation. The India one is very interesting because this is about putting economic pressure on India, trying to get them to not buy oil from Russia. One, that could mean higher prices for Americans. It could also mean higher oil prices in general if you don't have that Russian supply going into the market. But Weija, I think the broader question is, what does this mean for another big buyer of Russian oil, China? We have trade negotiations that are going on with them. And I don't think a lot of analysts expect President Xi to just say, sure, we're going to push our Russian ally out into the cold and stop buying oil from them. So that could complicate those trade negotiations significantly, Weija.
Yes, we are certainly watching that big one very closely. Kelly O'Grady, thank you as always.